Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down Kelvin W. Nathan's transformative philosophy from his work Build the System, See Your Future Grow Effortlessly. Look, if you've ever felt like you're stuck on an endless treadmill, just pouring an absolute maximum effort, surviving on way too much coffee, but getting totally inconsistent results, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to dive deep into why genuine, lasting success isn't something you mysteriously manifest through sheer willpower. It's something you mechanically engineer, right from the ground up.
Okay, let's start by completely dismantling a cultural lie we've all bought into at some point. A dream without a system is just chaos wearing a nice suit. That hits hard, doesn't it? Society absolutely glorifies that nice suit, the outward appearance of success, the flashy goals, the sudden wealth. But what we don't see is the utter chaos behind closed doors. So many of us chase these massive outcomes, and then we're left scrambling desperately to hold it all together. Nathan argues that people who build genuinely extraordinary lives don't do it by simply outworking everyone else. They get there by working on the right things in the exact right order inside a thoughtfully designed system. So, here's our architectural blueprint for today. We're going to cover 1. The myth of hustle. 2. Systems over goals. 3. Curating your inputs. 4. Build once, benefit daily. And 5. Systemize before you scale. We are moving from deconstructing the exhausting lies of hustle culture all the way to designing a sustainable, automated machine for your daily wins.
Section 1. The Myth of Hustle. Replacing the grind with clean rhythm.
We really need to talk about why just trying harder and pushing through burnout is actually a fundamental system flaw, not a character flaw. The contrast here changes everything. The hustle-based model treats your energy like dirty fuel. We all know the feeling, right? Relying on pure panic and adrenaline to hit a massive Friday deadline, getting that one sporadic win, and then completely crashing for the entire weekend because your nervous system is just fried. The systemic engineering model, that relies on clean fuel. It leverages rhythm. It respects the natural cycles of your energy and creativity instead of demanding that you act like a machine that's plugged in 24/7. True abundance is a long game, and you win long games with sustainable systems, not frantic sprints.
You know, when we hear the word system, it's super easy to picture something cold, corporate, or totally rigid. But scratch that. Systems are active containers for your energy and clear pathways for your purpose. Think of it like a highly pressurized hydraulic pipe. If you don't have that pipe installed, your fluid energy, your limited daily attention, just spills everywhere. It leaks out into doom scrolling, low-priority emails, or office drama. But a solid system, it contains that energy. It increases the pressure and channels it directly toward your vision. That means you no longer have to wake up and fight a brutal battle of willpower every single morning just to get moving.
Section 2. Systems over goals. Automating your success.
To properly engineer this, we have to totally abandon the traditional goal-setting stuff we were all taught in school. Why? Because goals have a fatal flaw. They're entirely temporary. They have a hard finish line. The second you achieve the goal, your motivation evaporates, and the structure you built instantly collapses. I mean, think about people who train for a marathon and then literally stop running the day after the race. A system-oriented focus, though, is permanent. And more importantly, it requires a huge identity shift. You stop tying your self-worth to some fickle outcome, and you start tying it to your daily behaviors. You don't just set a goal to write a book. You build a daily system to become a writer. You behave your way into a new reality, and those outcomes, they become virtually automatic. Check out this staggering number, 37.78. This is the mathematical proof of marginal gains, and it perfectly illustrates why systems always beat goals. If you improve your system by just 1 mere percent daily, that tiny effort compounds. Over a single year, you don't just get slightly better, you become nearly 38 times better than when you started. It's literally the compound interest of your habits. You do not need a massive, overnight transformation to change your life. You just need a tiny edge that gets applied consistently, day in and day out. Now, to get that compounding effect, you don't need a dramatic reinvention. You don't need to suddenly become someone who wakes up at 4 a.m. and takes an ice bath. You just need to build a microsystem. A microsystem is a ridiculously small, reliable routine that completely removes friction. Instead of overhauling your whole life, just clean up one tiny corner of your day. Systemize your first 15 minutes of the morning. For example, take 10 seconds to put your workout clothes directly on top of your phone before you go to sleep. Boom, you've just created a microsystem that makes executing the right habit the next morning so much easier than skipping it.
Section 3. Curating your inputs. Becoming the gatekeeper of your mind.
Okay, so what exactly is feeding your daily engine? This is governed by what Nathan calls the input equation. It's the simple, ruthless principle that the quality of your output is directly dictated by the information, the people, and the environments you let past your mental gates. You absolutely cannot engineer a focused, abundant future if your system is constantly fed a junk food diet of digital noise, outrage algorithms, and social comparison. If you let that in, your brain will literally rewire itself to make decisions based on that shallow noise instead of your long-term vision.
This breaks down exactly why you must be radically selective with your attention. Let's look at the media you consume daily. Is it leaving you with this lingering sense of fear and urgency, or is it actually giving you clarity and serving your vision? What about your social circles? Are those interactions draining your energy, or do they inspire you and bring you into alignment? And just look around your physical environment right now. Is it cluttered and constantly pulling your focus, or is it a curated space that invites creative flow? Managing these inputs is the absolute key to turning you from a reactive, exhausted consumer into the intentional designer of your own thoughts.
Section 4. Build once, benefit daily. The logic of leverage.
This right here is where we stop repeating the exact same problems every single day. The secret is understanding the logic of leverage, because right now, a lot of us are living a life of pure daily maintenance. Imagine waking up and having to make 50 tiny, stressful decisions before 9 a.m., reacting to fires, hunting for your keys, figuring out what to eat, deciding what tasks to do first. It's exhausting. Leverage means transitioning to a builder's mindset. You spend your precious energy exactly once to create a template, an automation, or a permanent routine. From then on, that system serves you continuously without requiring extra mental bandwidth. You build the infrastructure so that making the right choice just happens by default.
So let's walk through the exact 5-step blueprint to construct this leverage. First, you define your vision, giving your system its purpose. Second, you design for consistency over complexity. Keep it stupidly simple at first. Third is anchoring or habit stacking. This is brilliant because you piggyback off of a habit your brain already knows, like attaching a new 5-minute reading habit strictly to drinking your morning coffee. Fourth, track the process. Your only goal is not to break the chain of successful days. And fifth, design for resilience. Life will inevitably get messy, right? So you need a fallback, baseline version of your routine that you can execute even on your absolute worst, lowest energy days.
Section 5. Systemize before you scale. Protecting your progress.
Now, we really need to understand why rushing for massive growth before you've built this foundation is incredibly dangerous. If you try to scale your life or your business before you systemize, you're just going to magnify your existing flaws. Think of a freelance entrepreneur who suddenly doubles their client base but has zero onboarding system. That growth without structure, it just multiplies the chaos. Scaling a broken process means you are sprinting headfirst into burnout. If your routines aren't systemized, you become the biggest bottleneck in your own life, totally trapped by the limits of your own willpower. True sustainable abundance requires processes that run and succeed without your constant supervision.
But how do you make sure your newly built structure doesn't just become rigid and outdated? You build in continuous feedback loops. It's a very natural cycle. Step 1, you take action. Step 2, you observe the concrete results. Step 3, you honestly compare those results to your initial vision. And step 4, you course correct. The trick here is checking your alignment without letting your ego get in the way. Feedback isn't a personal attack on your identity. It's simply neutral data telling your system exactly how to adapt and evolve, so it stays highly effective.
Ultimately, I want you to remember that true wealth, lasting success, and genuine abundance, they aren't these elusive things you desperately chase after. They are the natural, mechanical byproducts of a properly engineered system that is aligned with your purpose. As Nathan beautifully puts it, the abundant life isn't found in endless striving, it's found in intentional design.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a hard look at your daily defaults. Audit your habits, ruthlessly examine your inputs, look at your physical environment, and ask yourself this one profound question: what is your current system actually built to produce? Because right now, today, your life is perfectly designed to get the exact results you are getting. If you genuinely want a different future, you don't need to chase a new goal. You need to build a new system.